You're listening to Melissa Gorga On Display with me, Melissa Gorga, on Podcast. What's up, listeners? It's Melissa Gorga, and I know you've been waiting, and it's finally here. It's the first episode of Melissa Gorga On Display, and I am so excited to have you all listen and be part of this. As most of you know, I am a reality television star, but I also own Envy, and I love fashion. I like to say I'm a cool mom. I have 3 kids. I'm a wife, and boy, do I have some stories for you. Each week, my celebrity friends and I are going to tackle all sorts of topics like fashion, like entrepreneurship, family, of course, pop culture, relationships, and just the importance of treating yourself and really anything else that we feel like talking about. It's going to be fun. It's going to be what I like to call life unfiltered. It's life and style and all of the craziness in between. I mean, let's just take the last couple weeks of my life. For instance, we released a new show on Peacock. It's called The Ultimate Girls Trip, which I know so many of you are going crazy over right now. I have to say, it is hysterical. It's really such a great show, just mixing up all of the different housewives from the different cities and putting them on an island together. So crazy. But the last few weeks for me have been absolutely insane, just with the amount of press. Traveling to LA, back to New York, back to LA. I was promoting the girls trip. I was on Nick Cannon. I don't know if any of you guys caught that, but it was such a great interview. I smacked him around a little bit just because he wanted to see what it's like to be a real housewife. So we had to show him. Then I did Watch What Happens Live with all of the girls, which was so much fun too. It's always great when we're all in there together. We all speak probably for 2 seconds each, but it's always great meeting up with Andy and doing Watch What Happens Live. We also, while I was out there in LA, we did the huge premiere party for the Ultimate Girls Trip, which was so much fun as well. That was just crazy, having everyone together. We watched the first episode, in front of tons of press and tons of fans, and just to see their live reactions and watch them and hear the laughs was kind of surreal and really crazy. So that was awesome. Then I shot over to Beverly Hills. I wanted to meet everyone at PodcastOne. We were in that studio because I had to promote the podcast. So I'm doing all those promos and recording all those promos for the podcast. Then I flew back over to New York and did Wendy Williams, which was so much fun too, because I actually sat down on a couch with Jerry Springer. Like, we're taking it back. Do you want to talk about like throwing it back for a minute? Jerry Springer, who I've been watching since I'm 5 years old, is filling in for Wendy Williams because Wendy's been having, a little bit of a breakdown lately, which my heart goes out to Wendy because I am a huge fan, love her to death, and wish her well. So, Jerry Springer, let me just tell you, the first thing I said when I sat down with Jerry Springer is that I cannot believe, with all the family drama that has gone on in my life, that this is the first time I am meeting you. Because for real, let's be real. Anybody who knows me and knows the show knows that I have probably should have talked to Jerry Springer a very, very long time ago. But all of that, and then mix in the holidays and Thanksgiving and everything else, it's really just been a crazy couple of weeks for me. And with everything that's come my way, I just need to say that I am always so grateful for all of the people that have always supported this craziness and all of my ideas and all of my ventures. There's so many of you out there that have always pushed me through and cheered me on. And I hear you. I read your emails. I read your DMs. And I appreciate you. I almost keep going sometimes because I want to show you that as a woman who has 3 kids, who is a mom, who is a wife with a pretty demanding husband, that you can push through and that you can do it all. So with that said, I need to thank my friends, my fans, my family. I want to thank Bravo for the opportunity. PodcastOne, of course, for being so amazing and so into this. I need to thank Peacock as well, because the show has just been so great and it's such a great platform. And I honestly couldn't have done any of this without my loving, supportive, And, the man of the hour, and of course, my very, very first podcast guest, because I would never have it be anyone else. Because when it comes down to it, if Joe wasn't supporting me and if he wasn't the backbone, and if he didn't help me with all of the opportunities and, we're definitely a team over here. So there is no other person that I would choose to be my very first podcast guest other than the one and only Joe Gorga. Woo! Say hi to everybody, Joe.
Hold on. Give me a minute because I was choking up on that one. That was nice. That was sweet.
Did you like your introduction?
That was amazing. Thank you.
Well, you do support me, and I'm happy that you support me. I know it's not easy that I'm like this, that I'm such a working girl. I guess it would be working girl is what we would say, right?
Yes, but you know what's great about that is that you notice it. And as a man, we love that. We love that you notice it, and how successful you become, and you always notice your partner. So that was amazing. I love you.
Of course, I noticed you. Of course, listen. At the end of the day, we are a team because I always say, if the house is not happy, no one's happy. The kids aren't happy. If you walk around right with a puss on your face, which you have many times, you go through your times when you're stressed out and you're like, what did we sign up for? And I definitely go through my times when I'm walking around like a zombie and I'm like, oh my God, like, I could go back to the days where I married this nice, hardworking guy and I woke up every day and was like, who should I call to meet me for lunch today? And maybe I'll go to Neiman and buy Antonia a pretty bow. Like, I can go back to that. Right, Joe?
Yeah,
can I go back to that if I wanted to go back to that?
Absolutely. There's days that I do say to myself, I wish you went back to that life.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
You don't like that I bring home the bacon as well?
Listen, the bacon is the bacon, but if your home life is not right because of the bacon, it's not right.
I agree.
The money's
the bacon,
not important.
It's not worth it if everyone's miserable.
Right.
So, and we've definitely been through. This has definitely stressed us out. I think it's fair to say.
Reality TV, reality TV is hard, and it depends on who you are, how you can handle it. And we've been on now 11 years. Families have been broken up. People lose their minds, right? As you see these child stars, and the big ones, the A-listers, they lose their minds, and you got to just have thick skin for this, and there's got to be love. There's got to be true love.
Yeah, I think if you enter the world of reality TV with even a slight, if the marriage is a little rocky, and I feel like a lot of these, the housewives in general and just reality stars, it's not just about housewives. I see a lot of reality stars. They're entering with the rocky marriage, and that's what makes them reality stars because they have, they have drama. They have something to talk about, which sometimes let's be honest, I get heat for. The fact that, if we don't have enough drama, if there's not enough turmoil in our lives, like, I'll get heat from the hardcore, like, housewife fans. But then there's the other side that actually appreciate watching a family that works really hard to stay together and appreciate the fact that there's like true love here between us. And I hold on to those fans. I hold on to the ones that appreciate also not just watching the craziness and the drama, but watching a true family through their ups and downs. They may not be, going to jail and cheating and this and that and like all of the craziness that you see, but there's still a lot of, there's a lot of structure there. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of like real family issues that happen. I don't think anybody knows really how real it was and how much we have suffered.
Oh, yeah.
Just from this show.
Just think about what you just said. Is the fans. The fans, they can call you and they can say, oh, we love you. Or we hate you. Or you suck. You're ugly.
They're brutal. They could be either the most supportive people in the world or brutal. Let me ask you something, though. Yeah. Has anyone ever, because I know my answer to this, to your face, ever been negative to your face? Now, I know they have, online and on the internet. To your face, have you ever had someone come up and call you an asshole? Like,
yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
There was a woman, and I was in a restaurant, and I was with my manager, Mike Martucci, and we were eating, and a girl came up to me. She goes, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Where's Melissa?" And I go, "Well, Melissa's home." She goes, "Well, I'm Team Melissa. You hear me? I'm Team Melissa." She was nasty to me. She had a little, she had a little too much to drink.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah."
But why are we not a team?
Well, I
How
guess
come you didn't tell me this. You didn't want to give me the clout. You didn't
I
want
just
to
forgot about it. I just remember now. It was just no big deal. That's the only time in the 11 years that's ever happened, and it was because when we were going through that little issue on TV there, and through that episode.
Because you weren't being supportive for a minute when I opened Envy. Everybody was, by the way, everyone was very upset with you over that.
When you opened Envy, no.
Yeah, it was when I started to like. It was in the beginning of Envy, yes, it was, and you kind of made fun of like you did, babe. I can roll the tape.
Oh, you're talking about that.
Yeah, because you were annoyed because you're like, we don't need your crumbs. Remember when you said you don't need the crumbs? You're sitting in my office today. You're sitting in my office. There's a sign above you that says Melissa Gorga On Display.
Yeah, but
are you proud of me at this point, or are you still annoyed that I have this, I'm doing this?
Well, I'm proud because if anything you needed, I'm here to support you and go. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. So, the only reason there was a lot of reason why I did that. It was to motivate you. Number one.
Oh,
it was.
No.
It was.
No bullshit. Guess what? This is a no bullshit podcast.
No.
No, you did not try to motivate me.
And I did motivate you because I was like, I don't need your crumbs. I make the cake.
No, because you were a typical. Sorry, honey. We're gonna no. You no.
I was not.
You're a typical. You made the money in the house. You did.
Which
you
I don't
always
care. No.
did.
You
gave me everything. You like being in charge.
Bullshit.
You like when I have to ask you for $100 bill.
No.
Joe Gorga, when's the last time I asked you for $100 bill?
First of all, hold on. Those days are over because the moment I met you, you had a credit card, a black Amex, and you did whatever you wanted. You didn't have to ask me for anything.
Okay.
Right?
I give that
to
you.
I gave you anything you wanted. It didn't matter.
Agree,
I don't
100%.
need that. I like a secure woman. I don't like an insecure woman. Like when I met you, you shocked me because you know me. I'm a beast. I work. I can work 20. There's 24 hours in a day. I can work 22, sleep 2, and keep going.
That's true. One thing let me just interrupt you for 1 second. In case anyone doesn't know Joe, one thing that you give him all day long. I have a lot of things I could say about Joe, but the number one thing anyone who truly no, for real though, the number one thing I do, I could say talk about good, me. I could talk bad, but the number one thing that you would be known for through my family, my friends, anyone who knows you in life would be that you are definitely the hardest worker in the room. If people don't know Joe Gorga, let me explain to you. He gets up at 5:30 every single morning while it's dark out. He goes to work. He doesn't get back home till 7:30 at night. If I say I want to go to dinner that night, Joe will get dressed, take a shower, go to dinner. If we got home at 2 a.m., he will get back up at 5:30 in the morning and work all day. And I'm talking dirty work. I'm not saying Joe doesn't go in a suit. Joe puts on his work boots, his dirty-ass jeans that drive me crazy because he wants to put the same sweatshirt back on for like 4 days straight and doesn't want anyone to wash it, which is, it's annoying. You smell like gas because you smell like those machines.
Because I don't want you to work.
You fill up those machines with gas.
Yeah.
And you reek of like gas when you walk in.
Yeah. And I walk into meetings with banks that lend me $40-50 million on projects looking like that. And that's what keeps us real. And we will never change. My father made me a workaholic. He made me a man at a young age. And we didn't have any money. So you had to go to work, right? So we went to work. We started work when we were 9, and now I am where I am. And I gave it all to my parents, especially my father. He was real honest, he was real on me. So today I am who I am. But when I met you, you were like that little spitfire. I'm like, wow, this girl working. She had 3 jobs. And same thing. You would come home. You would go to school. You were in college, and you go to work, and then you come home. And I said, let's go out to dinner. You were on, and you were just like on point, ready to go. And I said, I love this woman. Like she can keep up with me because I don't like a weak person. Like if I come home, I'm ready to do something, and I'm tired. You know, you didn't hold me back. So that's what attracted me to you. Right, and now look at you.
Fair.
So
I did work 3 jobs when you met me.
Okay,
and I was in school because
right.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I have a BA in teaching. I actually graduated college
Yeah.
to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And then, 2 years later, I was on reality
Was
TV.
when I first met her, she was bartending. Everybody thought that she was a stripper. No, she was the bartender.
I was a bartender.
At the strip club. At the strip
club.
club.
No. Hold on.
At the strip
club.
club.
Okay, but hold on.
Yes.
No. Then you have to let me clarify.
Yeah,
So
clarify.
I was a bartender. I worked, at the time I was 22, 23. I was a bartender at 2 different places. So I bartended everywhere. What about the Sandbar in Jersey City?
No, I know. But
and I barred at Joey's in Clifton.
Yeah, but wait. Let's get back to that. So when I first met her, we were going out. And she's like, I'm a bartender. I'm like, okay. And then she told me, I bartend at this place. I go, what place? And she told me this.
Well, that was one night a week,
and I
Wednesday
said, yeah, and she
night.
did. And I said, really? She's like, come. And I went. Now, here this old school Italian guy. Like, I watched everything.
Oh, now you're old school. When you want to admit
Back then, I was real old school.
Listen,
you're looking for your wife. You want to make sure she's right. So you come in, and I walked into the spot, and she was bartending, and you were bartending, and you had these short shorts on. They weren't even like sexy shorts.
No, they're like cheer shorts.
Right.
They're what Antonio
and they were
wears
too
to cheer.
low for me, and I was like, wow, look at her. She's at this.
No, you wear a tank top, cheer shorts,
Right.
I call them.
But what I'm trying to say
Nike
is,
Pros and sneakers.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is you didn't even look sexy, right? You're in this strip club, and we sat there all
sexy.
night. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't. It was like, which is
it was like you were going to the gym.
Right. It was like, so I was.
That's right. It's dead.
I was, I came in and we sat there and you gave me a drink. We hung out all night and it was awesome. And I really did. And so I just fell in love with who you were. You were a hustler. And you come home and then you went to school and you became a school teacher. So by you saying that I want to control you, that is wrong because I need somebody in my life to be an entrepreneur like you are, somebody that has goals in life. That I don't want to come home and depressed.
No.
Because people do get depressed, right?
What?
Because a lot of women, right, get depressed in life.
Yeah,
and they got nothing to do. And
what happens? They go through, so women go through the baby years. There's like 10 years that are the baby years. And those years are when the women are home. The dads get to go to work most of the time, right? The ladies are home going through the years where they have newborns and 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, and their life as like this put together person has turned into like diaper changing, talking gibberish all day, watching cartoons, watching Dora 24 hours a day, and you start to feel, you lose yourself and you feel like he gets to get up, go to work all day and come home, and I sit here with these kids. I want to get my nails done, but there's no one to babysit. I want to get my hair done, but I can't leave. I want to run to the mall, but no one can watch the kids for me. I'm telling you, they're the most amazing years ever because, I loved the baby years, but they're also very, very challenging.
Right.
So the fact that I worked this whole time when I went through the babies year, we got on reality TV. Antonia was 4. It was Joey's christening. Okay, my youngest, Joey, who is 11 now. Wow. And he was 2 months old when we started the show. So it's kind of crazy how long we've been doing this whole reality TV thing. And the fact that we survived is a whole nother story.
Right.
I think,
Well, see, listen, and that goes to, for all the listeners out there, a lot of wives and husbands, and it's all about, there's no I in team. And we were both on this reality show. Yes, the reality show was called New Jersey Housewives. So was it more about Melissa? Yes. Did it bother me back then? It did not. Hand to God with my parents in heaven. I looked at my wife like she was my, that singer that you looked at and or you loved growing up, and I was so. You were
proud?
I was proud of her because you were just smart and beautiful, and you looked good, and you represented us well. You represented the Gorgas well, so I was proud of you, and everything you did back then, right, with this reality. You included me, even though it was all about you. We made it. Everything was about you, right, Housewife? You included me into everything. So it didn't feel.
Because secretly, I also knew that it was going to be rough for you. I knew that you and I we have the kind of relationship that we do everything together. And I knew getting into this world and kind of coming into my own, because you had a lot of control when we first got married. You did. You had a lot of control. I mean, listen, I was secretly in control without you knowing as far as where we're going to go, what we were going to do, what we were going to buy, where the reservations were going to be made. But you had obviously a lot of the financial control. You were, you went out all day long and I was home with the kids. And I think I also subconsciously knew that getting onto this show and being in the work atmosphere and having to do red carpets, right? Having to go to events, having to go to just Us Weekly events and OK Magazine and all these little things and just doing branding, whatever it is that takes me out of the house. I knew that that was going to be rough for you. And it was.
Well, I don't know about that. I disagree on you on that part because I think that in the beginning that
it was rough on you.
You were just no. In the beginning, you were more like. I was cute.
More
we
correct.
Were into each other more.
Yes, but then you
just
talk about sex so much, like you did. You reference sex a lot, right? Do you or do you not?
Yeah.
Because it's a big part of who you are.
Well, sex is because sex is everything. If and it's not all about sex. Sex keeps together. It keeps you emotional.
I was like
touching.
sick of talking about sex all the time. Like, geez, I think I got to leave Joe home because we always sidetrack to sex. And like, I needed people to understand that there was more to our relationship than just that we're sexually attracted to each other.
Well, it wasn't that we were sexually. It was more about keeping your relationship together. Because what happens in the relationship, you get married.
I wrote a book on this, by the way.
Yeah, you'll get married. You have children. You start complaining. The children, they keep us up at night. You stop having sex. You stop having sex. Your relationship slowly goes down the tube.
I agree.
You stop holding
friends.
hands.
You become friends.
Yes. It's almost like it's a contract then. We signed a contract to be married, and we're just business partners. That's terrible. So sex has to keep you together.
I have a lot of friends and family members that are in a contract.
In a contract. I don't want to be in a contract. I didn't get married to be in a contract. I want to be I got married to be in love and be happy. So I talk about sex with everyone. I used to talk about if I can motivate somebody to have sex, right? No, in a relationship, it keeps you together. So you walk by each other in the kitchen, you touch. No, that's beautiful. Instead of just looking at each other like, hey, did you pay the bill? Did you take out the garbage? Did you do this?
Marriages do become
really.
They do become like it's like a partner relationship where it's like, hey, it gets a little repetitive where I'll call and be like, did you do this, this, and this? Did you order the tile for the new house that we're building? Why didn't you put out the garbage? Did you do this? Did you do that? You got to pick Gino up. Like, instead of like when you're dating and it's like, hi, cutie, looks so good today. Like, I'll see you later. I admit that I lose that. And you do. You're the one in the relationship that does try to remind me all the time that we need to keep like that part of it because my like work brain sections out. But I've been like that since the day you met me as far as like, I need it done now. I need things done. Like until everything is clean at night, I don't go to bed. So that's like almost a problem for me.
Right.
All right. Let's take a quick break. When CBD came out, people wanted it to be like cannabis, and it wasn't. It helps with some things, but you don't exactly feel it. CBDX.com felt the same way. So they went all in on Delta 8 THC. Prepare to have your mind blown. This is a federally legal form of THC. You will absolutely feel it. They have strong but discreet vapes, cartridges, absurdly potent gummies, and even pure concentrates. Remember, never drive or operate heavy machinery while using these products. They will show up as THC on a drug test. Go to CBDX.com, that's 4 letters, CBDX, and use code Melissa. You'll get 20% off and a free gift. If you live in a state where cannabis is legal, this is a lot easier than going to the dispensary and cheaper than paying all those taxes. If you live in a state where cannabis isn't legal, this is a no-brainer. Forget those imposters. Get yourself some gummies or a vape. You will be blown away that this is legal and shipped directly to you. And now back to the show. So it's hard for me to like focus and let go sometimes and just be like, okay, hold on. Remember that you want to tell Joe, hi, honey, you're doing a good job, or like you're cute, or like, we do have date nights, though. We're great with date nights because I feel like
Thanks.
date nights are super important, too.
Yeah.
We do that often.
See, we were just for Thanksgiving the day before. We're at Melissa's sister's house, and there was 3 other women there, and they were all talking. And we're just talking about
3 other women. I mean, people are going to be able to figure out who we're talking about. But go ahead.
That's okay. No, but she impressed me, this woman, and I love what she said. And we were just talking about relationships. And every time someone comes around me, they start talking about relationships, right? They do, and talking about husbands and wives and your relationship and sex and all that. And she was just saying, yeah, sex is a lot. Like, at this age, I'm tired. She's a 47, 48-year-old woman. She's just like, I am tired. But I think about my husband, that he looks at me like I'm so beautiful and he loves me and he wants me. She goes, that is everything for me. That was that, her. And she goes, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to have sex with my husband because I'm not in the mood. And there's going to be some other woman that comes into my house that I built with my husband all these years, and she comes over and takes him away. She goes, absolutely not. So that was beautiful. Like, there's a woman out there, and that goes for men. Because there's men that they fall off the map, and they forget what a relationship is. A relationship is you need to date for the rest of your lives.
No, I agree. Listen, relationships. I can sit here and talk to you all day about relationships. I feel like you and I. That's one thing. You and I have like so many opinions when it comes to relationships, but I feel like we're also very like hopeful for people, and hopeful and helpful, because even when we know we have a couple friends that are like going through it, we do want to give advice. I mean, listen, you're Joe Gorga. You're the quote guy. You're the quote guy. I mean, you're so into quotes these days. Little side note, we laugh at Joe at home all the time because he's become like the quote guy out of nowhere, right? He loves quotes. He loves inspirational quotes, which I have to say, and I have to give him this. Everywhere we go, people come up to Joe and they're like, oh my God, we love your quote. And I'm like, I make fun of him for it all day long. First of all, mainly because he spells half the words wrong before he puts it up. Okay. And I have to tell him to take it down because you spelled the word wrong, Joe. So he has to put it back up.
I don't proofread.
You don't proofread. You're hard about punctuation.
I do it as I'm nuts.
It's like unbelievable. So you're like the quote guy, which, by the way, people do love that. And I like to read your quotes sometimes. Sometimes I will tell you this. People think that the quotes are about me because it seems like
sometimes they are.
Well, no, it seems like but they're like nasty.
Not
it seems
all
like
of
you're
them.
like shh,
no,
like you're
a little one.
like
if I'm going through something that day, and it could be with work, or if I just dealt with somebody at business, and I want to react a certain way, and I didn't, where the old Joe Gorga would have reacted a certain way, and it made it a lot worse. And I'll put a little message out there because, as I'm getting older, I'm 47, I'm getting smarter, and
smarter.
I'm getting smarter because
really, I feel like you're like slowing down a little bit. Like when I speak to you, you're kind of staring at the
sky.
Because
I want to slow down. You're
like not as quick as you used to.
I don't want to be quick.
To be completely honest.
I want to be chill now. I want to be, and what that does is I just sit there and I analyze the situation, and then I answer.
Good spin.
Yes, because then if not, then I'll react in a certain way that I don't want to react, and it just screwed the whole night up. Now I just sit back, I listen, I look at you, and I'm saying, how am I going to answer this? Do I still, do I want to have a nice night and have a nice dinner with my wife tonight? So I'm going to answer it this way. The old me, I'd be like, shut up, and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not into it.
And that's in business too, hon. And if you're doing business and you get aggravated at the wrong situation, like what a building inspector, a police officer, anything, it just brings you out to a whole nother level. But if you control your emotions and you treat person, you got to take the abuse once in a while. You'll be shocked how the outcome is a lot better.
Yeah, so you're
control
saying
your temper.
What you're saying basically is like choose your battles.
In
choose
many
your
ways,
battles, especially in relationships.
But sometimes, like you might be aggravated, and an inspector comes up on a construction site, and you snap at him. Where now he just puts you in a whole different. Now you're getting fined, and he's really aggravated. But when he comes out and he snaps, and you're calm, and you say, "What did I do wrong?"
Use your charm.
Use your charm. and you diffuse the situation.
Okay.
And there's no fines. There's no nothing. So that's where you get
no,
smarter as you get older.
Yes.
You know?
I agree.
And the same thing with the relationship. It's with your wife. One little word can ruin your whole night. One little word.
I mean, I basically feel that you and I have put like everything out there. Do you like? Is there anything we haven't really put out there?
We haven't put a lot of things out there. What do you mean? There's a lot of things. There's one moment that I had that I would love to talk about, but I don't know if you're going to cut my. I might be like Lorena Bobbitt tonight if I talk about this.
No, I might be like Lorena Bobbitt. You mean?
Yeah, you're going to cut my shit off tonight. You know?
Wait. What are you talking about?
Throw it in the woods.
What are you talking about? Hold on. What? Wait, it's something that happened.
See,
something that happened in our relationship.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know you. You know, I should really.
A lot of people don't know me. No, they know me.
They don't know you. They don't know you. I'm going to talk about it, and if you get mad at me,
wait, what? What?
At this point, I'm going to talk about it.
A situation between me and you. Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
No, there's a lot of things because see, here's the problem. Everybody's on reality TV, and it's always about like Melissa, like, oh my God, she's working, and Joe doesn't like it, and then I look like the idiot. Now she's doing this, and Joe's jealous. He's doing it. But what people don't know is that Melissa is the jealous one. She's the one.
Whoa.
Listen,
I never say I'm not jealous.
I've taken a lie detector test in our marriage.
Okay, that's the story you want to tell. Is that what you're talking about?
There's a lot more
I
stories.
can tell this story too, though, because we're going to tell two sides of it.
I've taken a lie detector test.
Oh my God!
And this was 3 years ago.
No.
How long ago?
Wait. So you want to tell this story?
This was 3 years ago. So that means 14 years of marriage. Can I tell the story? I'm going to start. I'm going to tell the story.
No, because let's. All right. So
I have to tell the story. It's my story.
Hold on. It's not your story. It's my story. Number
one.
But
no, it's my story.
And if you want to tell the story, we're going to tell both sides.
We could tell both sides.
No, we're going to tell both sides of the story.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay. Here, I'm going to tell it honest. I'm going to start from me, and then you could finish. Can I tell my story?
Yeah, but don't drag it out. Let's.
All right, real quick. I'm going to tell the story. So. I get up.
It was definitely a winter morning.
I was building a house. It was cold out. It was winter. And I was just about done with the house. So I was pouring sod. Sod is that grass that you roll out. And
how could you put sod out in the middle of the winter?
Because you can. You could put it up to, it was like late December, wasn't it? It was like.
No, because it was January, because it was the morning that your sister, by the way, this was the morning your sister went to jail.
Went to prison.
That morning.
Right. So what was that, January?
I want to say it was like January 5th or 3rd, 5th, something like that.
So I left. I was working a couple days before on this house, and I'm about to put it up for sale, and I had to just finish the grass, and it was cold out, and we got a crazy frost, and I wasn't able to finish this one pile of dirt, and the pile of dirt was
that part's all
real quick. I gotta say it was like 10 by 10. 10 foot by 10 foot, a pile of dirt, and I didn't roll the side out. So I left. I was watching the news that morning. It says, okay, it's going to be 5 o'clock. Tomorrow is going to be like 50 degrees. I was like, okay. So I left at 5 a.m. in the morning to go break this pile of dirt down so I could finish laying the sod. No, I got to tell the whole story.
You were going to work at 5:30.
So I left by 5 in the morning. I left quick. I'm there. I'm working. I'm chopping this dirt. Right? I think you call me. First, she calls me. She's like, "What are you doing?"
Well, I called you because it was a Sunday morning.
Right.
And I woke up, and I think I woke up at like 8:30, and you weren't home. And it was kind of one of those crazy mornings anyway because of what was going on with your sister.
Right.
And it was 8:30 in the morning. It was Sunday morning. I'll never forget. Antonia had a friend sleepover. So we were having a sleepover. I woke up, and you weren't home. So I called your phone to see where you were.
Right. So she calls my phone.
And you didn't answer.
But I didn't answer?
No.
Okay. So I didn't answer. So, but I wore these loose sweatpants that morning. So I put my phone in my pocket. So as I was working, she must have called my phone. I didn't answer the phone. But before that, I called my sister because she was going to prison.
You called her that morning.
I called her that morning.
Right.
At 8 o'clock in the morning. She was going to prison out that day, right? That afternoon. And I don't know. And I was being real nice, and I don't know. She just I don't know.
You guys had an argument.
We had an argument. Didn't go the right way, and I was pissed. And I was just like, wow.
Well, at the time, everybody was not in the right minds, and she was blaming you, and you were very upset.
Right.
So you were in a mode.
I was in a mode, so I go back, and I start chopping at this dirt with the pick. I'm working, and I guess my phone. And when I work and if I lift weights, I grunt a lot. And
he is a grunter. I will give you that. Like when he's in the gym, he's embarrassed. He's that guy that everyone looks at. Like, look at this loser. Like,
yeah,
he's
okay.
like you are. You're like
look
embarrassing
at this
in the gym.
loser.
Yeah, you're like an overachiever. One of those guys that's like, oh,
yeah.
And
what
you're
happens?
Like, shut up,
yeah,
loser.
but listen,
like work out of your own basement.
Yeah,
if
but
you're
now
be so dramatic.
But now my wife works out hard, and what does she do?
No, I don't. I don't do that.
Yes,
I don't
you do.
that.
I'm
no,
gonna video
I am not a
next
grunter.
time. I'm gonna video next time.
I get embarrassed of grunters.
You do. You grunt. You do.
Oh my God!
And I laugh at you.
This
now.
is a public service announcement. Don't grunt in the gym. It's weird.
Who cares?
Only like a little grunt here and there. But
listen,
I hate the guys in the corner. Like,
it doesn't matter that. It doesn't matter the amount of weight you lift. It's the grunt.
Okay,
that
let's get
matters,
back to the story because now you're making me anxious, and I'm
so
gonna
now
have to tell my
I'm
side
working,
of this.
I'm hitting this dirt. I'm chopping it up. I'm making these noises. My phone rings. Calls her on accident.
Right. So, okay, let me tell a story. Let me tell you this part. I'm calling Joe. He's not answering. It's 8:30 on Sunday morning. He's not answering. I call probably 2 times in a row. Not answering. Well, I guess eventually his phone picks up by itself in his pocket, and Joe is sitting there, and he says that he has a shovel or some kind of like rake shovel thing, and he is
called a
pick. Okay, he's banging the dirt.
Which is the dirt was like concrete because it was frozen.
Supposedly,
she's hearing the bang,
but he's also speaking during this.
And she's
everyone, hearing me. And I guess so. Joe says his phone in his pocket is really ruffling up, and I'm hearing.
No, not.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I am. I am hearing the moans. I heard the word. I heard the D word. I don't want to say in what aspect. I don't know how I heard it, but I heard that
Yeah,
word.
I was probably swearing. Well, here's what I was doing.
You were swearing?
I was mad at my sister, so I was chopping at the dirt, and I'm like, fuck, dick. I was saying words, which wasn't nice. So then my wife calls me back. She keeps calling me. My hands are full of dirt. I finally answer the phone.
I think we got to go. I think we got to go to me on the other end first. Thanks. Okay, so as he has no idea what's going on, and I listen to him grunting, moaning. I swear I hear a woman saying he's not answering the phone, saying the word like I think I heard the word, the D word, and
you could say it.
Yeah, I heard you say dick. Right. So I'm hearing that. Now this is me, Melissa Gorga. Never experienced Joe cheating on me before. Never had any issues with that. I hear it clear as day. I hear the moans. I hear the ruffling, whatever it is in his pocket, of the movement, everything. I literally, this is me in my bedroom. I'll never forget it to this day in my pajamas. I fall to my knees, literally fall to my knees. My hands start shaking. I can't believe it's all happening. I can't believe it's happening. I literally lose my mind. I'm shaking. So now I'm speed dialing his phone to try to break up the sex that I think that he's having. So I'm speed dialing.
She FaceTimed me.
Nope. No. He answers. He finally answers. I am now screaming into the phone, shaking, crying hysterically. How could you do it? I can hear you. I can hear you. And I'm on the floor. I'll never forget Antonia walking in my room. And she's like, Mom, just go. I'll be right out. I'll be right out. I'm on my knees on the floor crying to Joe. And he's like, what? He's mad. He doesn't react nice. Like, honey, no, I would never. He's like, shut the hell up. What the frig is wrong with you? What do you say? I was like, Joe, I heard you. I can hear you. I was sobbing.
You want me to be nice that I leave 5 o'clock in the morning? Hold on. I leave 4:30 in the morning. I'm busting my ass. I'm chopping dirt to get this house sold to make money for us. And here you are accusing me of having sex. That's your
side. I let you have your side.
No, so you want me to be nice?
Okay, but I'm giving my side.
Keep going now. Go ahead.
So now he's mad. And to me, when a man is caught, what they do is they get crazy
sick.
and they get nastier. Yes.
Yeah,
and they're
sick.
like, you know what? F you crazy bitch. I'm out here working. What the fuck? And he hangs up on me. And I'm sobbing on the floor. And I'm like, oh, my God. When they get caught, I feel like they get nasty. If he wasn't, he'd be like, honey. He'd start laughing at, what are you, crazy, babe? No. But you want to put the icing? Hold on. Want to put the icing on the cake? Now I'm like, holy shit, he hung up on me. Now I'm going to FaceTime him. I hit the FaceTime. He doesn't answer the FaceTime.
Because I'm rolling outside.
Now I'm completely convinced
I answered
that what I heard is true.
No, she called me 6,000. I answered the FaceTime.
No, you didn't answer the FaceTime. It took you know when you answered the FaceTime? When you got back in your truck and maybe sent the girl home. Who the hell knows?
Oh, I was in the middle of the street banging a girl in my truck. No, it's called when you're working and you're laying sod. If anyone knows you're laying sod, your hands are full of mud. So I couldn't answer the phone. So finally, let's clarify. Hold on, let me clarify one more thing.
Let me just ask,
can I clarify one more thing?
I'm sure there's a lot of girls out there, if you're listening, I'm sure there's a lot of you who have felt this way before, right? Has anyone ever felt this way before where they feel convinced that they know or they're coming to conclusions? You're speed dialing. You're going crazy. You need to hear their voice. You need to get them on the phone. I know I'm not the only girl out there who's dealt with this before.
But let me clarify this. You've accused, I leave early in the morning, and she'll get up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and she'll call me, and I'm working so hard. And she's like, what are you doing? I go, working. Maybe I'm married to everything. And I'm like, I'm working. She's like, well, who you with this morning? I'm like, who you banging? I go, wait. When you did this, I hung up the phone on you. Because I'm like, oh, my God, here we go again.
All right, but I want to get back to just this subject for a second.
That's your insecurities from growing up, right?
Yes, but hold on. I want to get back to this story.
Get back to the subject.
Because you don't have a lot of time. So,
well,
you don't.
I know.
Okay, so getting back to it. I'm freaking out. I'm calling him. He's not answering the FaceTime. So to make a long story short, I then go ahead and tell him not to come home. I'm freaking out. I absolutely 100% don't believe. He's like, I'm working. What are you talking about? My phone's in my pocket. You swore you were shoveling. You were cursing out loud because you were in a bad mood. You had an argument with your sister earlier. You were cursing out loud. And I was hearing all of these words and this grunting because your phone was in your pocket and you were digging into frozen ground, right? That's your story and sticking to it, Joe Gorga?
Yes.
Okay. So to make a long story short, I literally don't believe him. I am convinced on what I heard. It was my own ears, my own eyes. It wasn't like a girlfriend or someone coming to me saying, hey, we heard something. And I tell him not to come home. My mother, my sister, you could tell the story of when you
So listen, she tells me not to come home. I ignore her. I'm like, she's crazy. I continue to work. I guess an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours later, I drive home. I come home, and guess what? Her mother and her sister are there, and they're from down the shore. It takes an hour and a half to get there. She called them. Oh, my God. They come running up. I open the door, and my sister-in-law looks at me like I'm the devil. She goes, oh, I can't believe you. I said, what?
And mind you, my sister and my mother die for Joe. They
love
think
me.
They're always Team Joe.
They love me, but and then the mom, all of a sudden she goes, Joe, I cannot believe. I go, are you?
The mom.
I go, are you kidding me? I was so aggravated. I was so
Come on, guys.
mad.
Let's be honest. Ladies, everyone, your parents, your sister, the fam always takes our side.
Yeah.
If you're cheating, they're always going to take our side.
So mad at them. But see, they just their father was a cheater, and right?
Well,
it's
yeah,
okay. Their father was a player, which is I never met.
I did grow up with my father did stray a lot.
Right. He was one of those guys. He was a player. He was a cool guy, whatever. I never met him because he passed away. So they're kind of like, okay, you cheated. They want to hang you, the family, right? I wasn't even cheating. So I came, and I was so shocked. And my mom, especially with my mother-in-law, she's like, I can't believe you. So then I'm like, all right. So then I walk outside. I go take a shower because I'm full of mud. I go, what do I do? What do I do? Just roll in the mud? So I go take a shower. I come back down.
Basically, I tell him to sleep out that night. I didn't want him to sleep home.
I come down the stairs. She's laying on the couch, on the floor crying.
My mother gave me a Xanax.
The mother, they gave it. It was a disaster. I go upstairs. It ruined the entire
was
day.
Was it worth it, Joe? Whatever you were doing that morning, was it worth it?
So then the next day I go to work. I leave in the morning. She calls again, crying. The mother's there again. And then I'm figuring out. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is serious. It took a minute.
I truly believe
it was like a day and a half, and I finally said, like, what, am I going to get divorced over this? I go to work, and he thinks that I'm cheating, and then she goes like this: I set it up, and I'm going to call.
No, that's not what happened. So now he goes and I don't let him sleep home that night. He doesn't sleep home that night. He goes to work the next day. Either you didn't sleep home or you slept on the couch and I slept in the bed.
Yeah.
Yes, and we didn't speak.
Yeah.
And then he goes to work the next day and I call him and I say, okay, you're not coming home tonight until you prove this to me because I heard what I heard and I don't believe you. And this is where the lie detector test comes in. I set up a lie detector test. And I said, meet me at, hold on. I said, meet me at such and such address at 2 p.m. You're going to take a lie detector test. And if you pass it, good for you. And if you don't, you're not coming home.
I said, no problem. I could have, and if I was guilty, a lie detector test, I'd have said, absolutely not. I'm not taking
I have more about this lie detector test.
And I go like this.
Wait till you
I said, fine, I'll take the test. Let's go. And she picked the place because, I'm busy where I was building these homes. We're in the town it was Montclair. She picked a spot in Montclair.
Now, listen to when I called a bunch of different I'm Googling lie detectors, Northern New Jersey. And as I'm Googling them, I talked to a couple. I talked to this one lady that I really liked the most. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go with her. And what she said to me was this. You don't want to go with just any random person. I'm not one who will take money from the men. A lot of these people do that. And I was like, what? She's like, yes. A lot of men go and they pay off the person who's going to do the lie detector test. They'll throw them $10,000. They'll throw them whatever they think their marriage is worth. Okay. They'll clear out their bank accounts and, they'll pay these people off who are doing the lie detector test so that they pass. So that's in my brain.
But she's not. She's telling you that she's not going to take the money. She's advising you.
She said I don't do that.
Right. She was advising you that.
I tell Joe. Now let me give you a little quick update on Joe. Joe is late to everything, everywhere, never on time, runs late for everything. You always have to call him. He's always a half hour late.
Here we go.
I pull up to this spot that I told him to meet me at, which is where we're going to do the lie detector test. He is already there, sitting in the parking lot, I want to say 10 minutes early, and sitting in his truck. I wanted to kill someone. I freaked out. I walk up to him like, wait, why are you already here? He's like, because you told me. I was working down the street. I'm like, wait, why did you come early? So already
now
that's in my brain that
mind.
He was there before me, freaked me out. To make a long story
she
short, he takes the lie detector test.
She looked like hell. She looked like a psycho coming out of the kid. Like she was crying for 3 days. She comes out of the car. I'm like, my God, look at her. Like, who did it and ran? And she looked. I'm like, for what? I'm looking at her like, she's sick. You're sick and you're fucking. I did nothing but work.
Now this is some real Jerry Springer shit. You want to talk about Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
He's hooked up in this place. He has all of these like plugs. I've never
So
seen.
then we go. Yeah, we go into this room upstairs. We have to walk upstairs to there's a woman. Hello, how you doing? All right. And we sit down in this room, and they stick these plugs, these suction cups on my head, my forehead, on my chest. And just by doing that alone, your heart's already like, what the fuck is like? If just say you murdered somebody or you really did cheat, and they're sticking all this on you, you're like, what happens is when you lie, your heart races. When you're lying and they put you on the spot. And they know the machine can detect that. So I sat there, I'm sticking everything. They even stuck something on my penis. I'm like, what is this shit?
Not.
So then she starts asking me questions. And they start asking you random questions, like first, like, do you like the way your wife cooks? And
all right.
Like
so
all this nonsense.
Short,
then they get to the point.
He passes.
Hold on.
The
They
lie
get no.
detector
Let me. I want to talk about
you
that.
Passed.
They get to the point, and they said, were you with a woman having sex that morning? I go, absolutely not. What were you doing? I said, I was shoveling and picking dirt, looking, and I was directly looking in my wife's eyes. She was sitting on the couch watching me.
You know what I thought was funny? One of the questions that they asked him was like, are you attracted to any of your wife's friends? I thought that was very strange.
Yeah, because they're trying to see.
When they said, are you attracted to any of your wife? And that's a really good question. I do wonder if husbands out there, is there any of my friends that you are attracted
to? What did I say to that question?
You said no. You said
really
no. Is there any of your wife's friends you're attracted to? Was one of the questions, which I thought
no,
was very
was
interesting. So I was like, ooh.
You know what she said? She said, "This man passed with flying colors. He's fucking amazing. He is amazing."
Grand.
And she was
cheaper to keep him.
She walked away with her tail between her legs, and that's my story, people.
All right.
That's my story.
Anyway, that we never told because it's kind of embarrassing that we went through that, and I made you take a lie to it. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you from this day, I truly heard what I heard.
You heard your ass. There was no girl there. I go like this.
Does your mind? Here's a good question for the world. Does your mind play tricks on you sometimes, especially when it comes to relationships with men? And I do believe the mind can, play tricks on you. But anyway, we're gonna jump out of that. We're gonna jump out of that. I think that's
let's jump out of that because she's wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. It's something we went through in marriage.
We're gonna pick that up another day. We're gonna pick that up another day.
We're real people here. To make a long story short, I do think that a lot of relationships, especially ones that people have been together for years, we go through a lot of weird stuff, right? There's a lot. I'm sure everyone has
that's what makes you
crazy story to tell. I mean, we have some friends we go to dinner with that tell us the craziest things about catching their husbands masturbating, and
we got all kinds of shit.
We really have some funny friends who tell us some crazy stories. That's a whole nother.
On our next,
that's a whole nother podcast.
On our next
but real quick with you, Joe. I want to touch on one quick thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Comedy. Real quick, because the people want to know, where did this come from, and why does Joe Gorga suddenly go from, real estate developer, which you are, and you are a successful one. I will give you that. Let me just give you one quick recap in case anyone doesn't know what Joe really does besides being my sidekick on reality TV. He converts old warehouses into apartment buildings. So we do own apartment buildings. Notice I said we, because my name's on all that shit, baby doll. And you did all that while I was home watching those kids and organizing your life. So we own all of these apartment buildings all around New Jersey. So that's truly what Joe is. That's what he does best. He is a real estate developer. Why comedy? Why all of a sudden comedy? Why did you want to get on a stage and be a comedian? Why?
Because I love it. I love to, as you know me, right? When we out to dinner, since the beginning of as I met you, how I met you, as I made you laugh, and I was entertaining to you when I sat at that bar and I was hitting on you.
Well, look
it
at
was
Kim
my
Kardashian and Pete Davidson now. I mean, laughing is definitely the way to a woman's heart. I would say
that's right, and I'm my personality. And that's what I was. And when we went out to dinner with all our friends, and I would sit there, and I was the guy that took over the conversation and made everybody laugh and talked about sex and motivated them. And when we were done with the dinner, our friends, the men would call me the next day.
Well, no, okay, so that's fair. You do. So when we go to couples dinners a lot. We're big couples people. We go dinners with couples because I do believe. Side note, I do believe that strong marriages last longer if you go out with couples, if you keep yourselves around couples that are also happy and in good relationships. I feel like it does help your own marriage become successful. If your husband's out there all day long with a single guy or guys that are cheating husbands, it's not good. It does sway. So we're big on couples, happy couples. That's what we like to hang around. And Joe does. You make everyone laugh at dinner.
I make them laugh.
Just naturally.
I like it. I motivate them. The next day they call me up and say, "Yo, whatever you're talking about sex, I had crazy sex with my wife last night."
I'll give you that.
And they haven't had sex in 2 weeks, which is awesome. See, I like that. So
I get that, but comedy on a stage with a script,
right, and
having content, and for me, the comedians, it's more about the transitions.
Well, hold on.
And putting it
let me
together.
get to that real quick. When I started out as a landscaper, and then I started building houses. Then when our son was born, Gino was in 2012. I said, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to step it up to 11. I'm going to buy this big warehouse and create apartments. And I did. I had balls to do it.
You did all of that.
It
but
was
why
wait.
comedy?
Let me finish. And I took an impossible thing on without, I didn't even have all the money, and I made it happen, right? And that's who I am. And I said, I'm going to do comedy. I want to do it.
But
I'm gonna
why?
Do it.
Is it something
I don't know.
Is it something that you...
No, I just
What makes you want to do? Because let me be honest, I'm your wife, so I see it behind the scenes. It's very stressful. It's very stressful for you. You've had how many shows now? Maybe 6, should we say? You've done like 6
shows.
We want to say about 6.
6.
They're pretty good. They are. I have to say you're
Pretty
surprisingly...
They're good.
Yeah,
I
have to be honest. I wasn't sure this was something you can handle. It's a large audience. It's really, really not easy to do. One of the hardest things to do would be to get on stage
and make people laugh.
Very because hard. In my brain, it's almost like, oh, you're going to make me laugh. Now you have to try even harder to make me laugh.
If you go in a room and there's 500 people, there's 500 different personalities.
Correct.
So you have to sometimes have the rooms laughing, sometimes they're not. Whatever, things work, and you have to do. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of years. And I just went up there and I did it.
And with that said, that I'm proud of you and that you're really trying new things here. We do need to address the elephant in the room. Joe did have one epic fail, I will say. It was not too long ago.
It wasn't my fault.
A couple weeks ago, a week or two ago.
It was not my fault.
It was not your fault. No, I guess we're going to say
you did it. It happened
It's
to
happened.
you.
It's happened. So let's explain to the listeners what happened to you. So we were on Long Island. Shout out to Long Island. We love Long Island. But Joe wasn't feeling good before one of his shows on Long Island and decided, no COVID, because we take COVID tests all the time. But he was just, sniffly, didn't feel good. He's like, I'm going to take Sudafed because I'm going to sound so congested on stage tonight. So he took Sudafed. And with that said,
can I tell him?
Well, I just want to give a quick,
go ahead.
Every night before Joe gets on the stage, he does have a couple drinks. You do. You have like a couple.
Two,
you
always.
have like 1 or 2 drinks backstage.
Which
to kind
means
of
nothing to me.
Okay, get rid of your nerves or whatever.
No, it just calms me down.
And everyone always gives him Johnny Walker Blue, which is the strongest. Is that whiskey?
No, it's not.
Scotch? What is that?
Yeah, it's Scotch, but it doesn't do anything.
It is. It is so strong.
Yeah,
Come on.
Nothing, but it's
everyone gives you that because of your dad, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Joe decided to drink a lot of, I guess, I don't know how much you drank backstage that night.
You're not letting me talk.
Okay,
Can
go
I
ahead,
speak?
talk. Go speak.
All right. So during the day, I took Sudafed because I wasn't feeling good. And then I got to the show, got there 2 hours early, hanging out in the back room. And I did I had a drink of Scotch.
One drink, Joe? How many drinks?
Two. I'm going to say 2, maybe 3, but that doesn't do anything.
Okay, but when you take Sudafed,
right? Well,
so
hold on.
I feel like I need to explain the rest because you didn't even know where you were, so it's impossible for you to tell the story because you didn't see yourself on the stage. You have no idea.
Well, I'm going to tell you the story till I got on stage.
Okay,
I remember I'm in the green room and I was hanging out, and there were some other guys that came back there, some other Instagram guys to say hi and take some pictures. So we were good. I was fine. Everything was fine. I was normal. I was laughing. As soon as they tell me, Joe, you're up, I go on stage. I remember dropping my drink. I'll go to put it down on the bench, and I drop my drink. And that's all I remember from there.
Well, that sounds about right.
I blacked out.
He did.
I do remember. Wait, I do remember seeing snakes coming at people's heads, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
What?
Yes,
you were literally like hallucinating.
I was hallucinating.
You look now. This is just like a PSA announcement. Joe does not smoke weed. He is a drinker, but he doesn't smoke. It's none of that. Because you would think when he got on this stage, like, wow, this guy's on another planet. Like, he's high. But literally, he was high because he took the Sudafed and it reacted that way. And literally, he didn't know where he was. So to be his wife and to sit down and watch him, first of all, he came out, his eyes were closed. They weren't even open. He drops his drink as he's walking on the stage. Everyone in the audience knows I'm there, okay? They're all looking at me like, oh, my God, Melissa's going to die right now. This is like the best episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey they have ever seen. So I'm just sitting there mortified. Joe doesn't know what he's saying. So I can't even say that Joe, got on the stage and had a horrible run at comedy because he didn't do any comedy. He didn't even say a word, as a matter of fact. He just kept going back to some guy, Javier, who works with him. So let me tell you about Javier. I'm going to tell you. And we were all I was like, oh my God, I'm mortified. I was completely mortified.
I said nothing else.
And then my heart was breaking for him at the same time, the wife in me, because I was like, he has no idea where he is. He has no idea what he's doing. I don't want to come in and like bust his bubble and like pull him off the stage and be like the saving grace wife. Like, this is Joe's thing. You know, I don't want to come in and like embarrass him. I didn't want to embarrass you.
If you saw me not in my element, you could have said, hey, what's going on?
Not in your element.
You could have got on the mic.
I didn't even know who you were. I was mortified. I didn't know who you were. And then I felt bad for you all at the same time. The fans love you, by the way, so much that they wanted you to be good. And they were like, come on, Joe. You got this, Joe. But, like, they didn't know that you're actually really decent at this. You're really good at this.
No, I'm great.
No, you are. You're good at it. You make people laugh. You really are. So
I go up there with no.
But let's give
practice.
these people a little break here. They have no idea. They've never seen you before. You're just Joe Gorga from The Housewives about to do comedy. So in their minds, they're like, wow, this guy is way out of his element here. Like, he's not even speak. I mean, Joe, you didn't even speak. You didn't even come out.
Get to the point.
I mean, how much you gotta, I have to explain.
Oh
how
my God, you got to.
Joe,
you didn't speak. He said this. I get it.
Okay, so let's make a long story short, everybody.
You're repeating yourself.
It was a really bad night to the point where I couldn't let him be up there because I was scared he was going to start saying things terrible that could have got because you didn't know what you were saying. You weren't even saying anything for a good 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes of hell.
I was up there for 30 minutes.
These fans were looking at me and I was looking at them and I'm like, okay,
what was I saying for 30 minutes?
They were
I couldn't say Javier.
You know what you kept saying to the fans, Joe?
What?
Come on, people. You know you're gonna laugh. Just pay attention.
Yeah, but then I wasn't I saying you guys suck?
Yes, you told the crowd you guys suck.
Yeah, but
like you don't know what's funny, and meanwhile you didn't say one joke to even be funny yet. You just kept telling us about some guy Javier that you woke up with at 6 a.m. while you stared at the sky and closed your eyes. So basically, saving grace. Here I come. I didn't know what to do. I had to get him off the stage. Guys, listen to this. I walk on the stage. I just walk up. I think the crowd starts clapping. You know, everyone takes out their phones. You could see everyone in the whole entire place is videoing. So I literally get on the stage and I'm like, all right, guys, like I've seen him do this 6 times. He's amazing. Something's going obviously wrong here. I'm going to have to pull him off the stage. We love you guys. Hello, TMZ. And I escorted you, Joe, off the stage, but you did not come gracefully. You were like, what are you doing? I'm good. I was like, Joe, honey, the boss has spoken. I think those were my exact words. You were like, what do you mean? Get out of here. I'm good. I'm like, Joe, it's time to get off the stage. Everyone I have to say, the crowd was very, I think they were getting a little annoyed at one point, but they definitely, they were feeling free. Everyone can tell you we're not in your right mind, but I worried that people were like, oh my God, they're going to think he's like some like drug addict or something because he can't put a sentence together. You broke my heart, babe. I felt bad. I cried. I literally cried that drive home because I was like, I cannot believe that this just happened. I was in complete shock. And I looked at you and you threw up.
I threw up. I was throwing up that night. It was a mess. I was a mess.
With that said, I have to say, like, we need to, it was an elephant in the room a little bit. We need to say you had your one little slip up, and TMZ was there to capture it all, of course.
Whatever. Listen,
the kind people in the audience, thank you so much.
I'm apologizing to Long Island. I love you guys. I'm coming back. I'm going to give you the show of the life.
Yes. You know what? I say you do a free show, no selling tickets.
Yes,
you go back to that spot to anyone who bought a ticket, and you give those Long Island people a real Joe comedy show next time.
That's right.
All right, Dal? Yes. All right, moving on. I know you're a busy man, and you have a lot going on today because I do have your schedule. But before we let you go, we're going to do a little segment right now. I want to introduce with you. It's called Grilled with Gorga. I am going to do this with all of my guests every time, and congratulations on being my very first guest on Grilled with Gorga.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Prepare yourself. I just want quick answers because I know you're going to want to drag your little answers
on. All right, go ahead. Let's go.
Okay. Quick answer. Grilled with Gorga. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. First celebrity crush.
First celebrity crush. Wow.
I know the answer.
You do? Oh, it's that girl that looked like you. What's her name? Melissa Alano?
No. Oh, Alyssa Milano.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Favorite 80s song?
Favorite 80s, Rum DMC.
Okay, I'll take it. Best decision you've ever made in your life?
Marrying you, baby.
There's smart man. Your biggest regret?
My biggest regret? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Worst date. The worst
Let's
date.
come back to that.
Worst date you've ever been on?
I never had a worst date.
No?
No,
You had to have a bad date. What about the time you fell asleep on me at our date?
That wasn't bad.
What about that?
That was a great outcome. It was perfect.
Okay. Favorite food?
Favorite food? I love pasta.
Give me something that would surprise us about you, something that we don't know about you.
I am a worker, and I'm always going to be a worker. I put dirty work boots on every day, and I go to work. Like, I could do a big comedy show, like 2,000, 3,000 people there, go do a red carpet event with Bravo and my wife and all that craziness. But the next day at 5 o'clock in the morning, I put work boots on, and I go to work, and I keep it real.
First concert. Do you remember the first concert you've ever been at?
No.
First concert. Have you ever even been to a concert? You're so not pop culture.
I don't remember.
Okay. What was your first job you ever had?
Newspaper route.
Okay. What's your favorite late night snack?
Ice cream.
Okay. And your favorite TV show that we're binge watching right now? What's your favorite show?
Friday Night Lights.
All night long.
I love it.
All right. And I need to know, I'm always going to end with, tell me how you treat yourself. What is the one thing you do for you? What's the one thing you do for Joe?
Nothing.
You do something. How do you treat
nothing.
yourself? What is your treat at the end of the week or at the end of the day? How do you treat yourself?
I do nothing, and sometimes I get mad at myself, and that's where it fucks my brain up sometimes, and I get nasty. Sometimes I get mad or insecure about something because I do nothing for me. Everything I do, all the real estate I build, I think of my children and you. If I ever die,
okay, well, you need to treat yourself. That's
I never
a huge part.
I don't go get haircuts.
You go golfing.
I never get haircuts. I buzz my own hair. I don't go. I want massages. I don't go. I just work. So it's all about my family and my wife and everybody else but me.
I think you should grab a beer and go to the golf course once in a while. That's how you could treat yourself. You treat yourself that way. I definitely think you treat yourself with food, if I'm going to help you answer these questions. But, okay, Mr. Joe Gorga, thank you so much for being my first guest today. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love you so much. I know that you have a lot to do, so I am going to let you go. But I appreciate you, and thank you for always making me laugh for all of these years. You're so insightful.
I love you, and I love you. I love you. Thank you for making me your first guest. This is an honor. It's an honor. It truly is. And I look up to you.
Aww.
You are my idol.
Thank you.
And you keep doing what you're doing. All right,
Thank
baby?
you, honey.
I love you.
Thank you. Love you.
Ciao. Bye, peeps. Love everybody. See you later.
All right, guys. So Joe Gorga has left the building, but I just want to say thank you so much. Your support and how my friends and fans that I've met throughout all of the years, just through the Real Housewives of New Jersey and through all of my business ventures and everything else has gotten me through. It really keeps me going. It really pushes me. You guys are so encouraging. I love your comments. So please DM me anything that you guys want to hear me talk about. Make sure you're DMing me. Make sure you're following this podcast. This is the first of many, many to come. So cannot wait to talk more to you guys. Love you so much. And do not forget to treat yourself. Love you. Mwah.